Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, we're going to be learning a jazz blues. So what's really fun about this lesson is that it takes that standard 12-bar blues form and it literally jazzifies it. So we're going to be throwing in some chord substitutions and swapping chords out for others, and what it does is it really makes it a little bit more interesting than what you hear in a standard blues. So it's a lot of fun. So we'll get to talking about that in just a second. But before we get there, I also am excited about this lesson because while it is our third concept lesson to feature a full band, as in U-bass plus ukulele plus drums, it is the first one to feature a real drummer. And that real drummer is my friend from music college, Chaz Chambers. So after graduating, Chaz literally ran away and joined the circuits. So he was the last drummer for the Ringling Brothers, and it was a gig that he held for a year and a half. So really awesome gig. But when Ringling came to an end, he actually started his own music tour company for Cuba. So if you guys were ever interested in going to Cuba and experiencing the rich musical culture of Havana, then I'm going to put a link in the description box below, and you can find out a little bit more about what he does with his tour company. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Stephen, who composed this tune. Now, this song is actually called Spaghetti Junction Blues, and it was featured on his debut CD, Transitions, which came out last year. So this song, I really dig it because it sounds like a standard jazz tune. It just has that vibe of a timeless jazz classic. So it's just a lot of fun to play, very catchy melody. And we're going to do something really fun. We're going to do a little giveaway. So I'm going to put the link to Transitions. You can stream the whole album on Spotify for free. And all you guys have to do is write a comment in the comment box below, listing your favorite track from the album. And Steven's going to pick 3 people by random and send you a CD. And it doesn't matter where you live, we'll ship it out worldwide. All right, so let's go ahead and kick into talking about this lesson. Now, this lesson is going to be part 1, and in part 1 we're going to be learning the melody plus the 12-bar chord progression, so the rhythm playing. If you guys want to learn the ukulele solo, we're going to be covering that in the part 2 lesson at rockclass101.com, so you can click this link right here, or you can go to the site and do a search for EP009. That's the lesson number for this lesson. At the site, you'll also be able to get the tabs that you can print off and follow along with as a PDF format, as well as access the on-screen tab viewer. Now, this is a really cool feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tab scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed. Just a really great asset in learning this song that much quicker. All right, and last but not least, I also want to say that we've got backing tracks for this lesson too. So we've got 3 backing tracks that you can download. We have 100% speed, 75, and 50% speed. So you'll be able to play along with the drums plus the U-bass at home, so you can rock out at home. All right, so let's go ahead and kick into talking about the actual lesson. So as I said in the beginning, it's a 12-bar blues format, but it's jazzified. So some chords are going to deviate from the standard 12-bar blues, and that's what gives it a really interesting sound. So if you're not familiar with the 12-bar blues form, hit pause and check out this lesson real quick to get familiar with that, and just keep in mind that we're jazzifying and swapping out some of those chords in this tune. So let's go ahead and kick off with the melody. Now the melody is going to be played with a swung 8th note fill. So we've got to swing our rhythm. And if you've never done that, I'm going to put a link in the description box below to another lesson that covers the difference between playing straight 8th notes and swung 8th notes. So check that out real quick and then come on back if you're new. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play just the first couple bars, and then we're going to break that melody down. And then I'm going to give you a couple tips too for learning this melody easier. So let me play the first couple bars, and then we'll talk about that and learn it. Okay, so there's where the first 2 bars sound like. Now, as you can hear, this melody is very catchy. Da 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 da. So it's a really great piece that you can work on by ear. But it's vital that you also understand the rhythms because it has a lot of syncopated hits where we're going to be hitting off the beat, so on the ends of the beat. So since it's so catchy, it tends to be one of those tunes that you just kind of play by ear. So that's why I want to point it out. It's kind of, I think of like Ode to Joy, like da 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 da. You think of the melody when you sing it and you play. You don't think 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, right? So this song tends to be kind of like that. But again, it's really important to understand the rhythm too. So we're going to be talking about that throughout the lesson. So let me go ahead and just play that first couple bars. Again, I'm going to count out the rhythm as I play, and then we'll break it down and learn it. You can hear it swung eighth note rhythm throughout so far. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Okay. So before we break that down, I want to go ahead and point out too that I'm playing in what's called position 1. I like to think of it as a box. That's just me. But basically it means that each finger gets its own fret. So index finger plays everything on first fret, middle second, ring third, pinky fourth, and that's for all 4 strings. So as you watch me play it, you can see each finger literally has its own fret. What that does is it makes it very efficient to play. So you don't want to do something like that. That's just going to be way harder, more difficult. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Now, we're going to kick off this phrase by playing the first fret of string 2 with the index finger. We'll follow that up with the open third, and then the third fret of string 3 with the ring finger, and then back to the first fret of string 2. So there's our first half of bar 1. We have 1 and 2 and... So if I call out frets, I have 1, 0, 3, 1. Now the second half starts with the pinky on the 4th fret of string 2, and then the open A. Now this leads us up to beat 4, which is a rest. So we're going to rest on that. And after the rest, on the end of 4, we're playing the first fret again on string 2. So notice that I kind of just keep my index finger anchored on that first fret of string 2. Okay, so I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and if I call out the frets, I have 1, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, rest, 1. So let's give that a shot. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest, end. Okay, so this end of 4 is going to hold out. It's a tie into the first beat of bar number 2. So that means our first hit for bar 2 is going to be on the end of 1, and it's going to be the open 3rd string, followed by the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and then back to the 1st fret of string 2. So that's end, 2, end. So let's put that into context. I'm going to start on the end of 4 for bar 1 and play to the first half of bar 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So you can hear I'm coming in on the end of 1. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So if I call it frets, I have 3 and 4, 1, 0, 3, 1. Okay, let's give it a shot, you and I. So we have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and rest, rest. So we've got a beat and a half for a rest. So we're resting for beat 3 plus beat 4. That means our next hit is going to be the end of 4, which again is the 1st fret. So if we try the entire second bar together, it sounds like this. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? So let's give the first 2 bars a shot. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and rest, rest, end. Awesome. Now bar 3 is going to be literally almost identical to bar 1, slight little variation. So instead of hitting on beat 1 like we did for bar 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and, remember that we hit on the end of 4 in bar 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, so we're holding this F note into bar 3. So there's the first difference. Now the second difference occurs at the end of this bar. At the end of this bar, we're not resting on beat 4, we're playing the F note for that beat. We have 2. So we actually have 4 and. Let me show you so it makes a little sense. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can see I'm hitting the F note for beat 4 plus the end of 4. So that's the only difference. So if we break it down slowly, guys, we're hitting on the end of 4, holding into beat 1, then we have the same stuff as bar 1. We have open third, 3rd fret of string 3, 1st fret of string 2, 4th fret, open A, and then here is the second variation, 2 Fs to finish it up, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so the cool thing is that for bar 4 we're playing nothing, so you're going to have a whole rest for bar 4. So let's see if we can try bars 1 through 4, and keep in mind that bar 4 is nothing. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So there's our first 4 bars for the melody. Now let's take a look at the next 2 bars. This will be the second phrase, really. And here's what it sounds like. And this one starts on the end of 1. Okay, so that's what it sounds like. So you can think of it as that beat if you want to play by ear. Da da da, la da 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 da. But it's also important to notice to recognize the rhythm. And the rhythm is a little bit syncopated on this, a little tricky. We're starting on that end of 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So there's just the first bar. So let's break that down. So again, starting on the end of 1. So we're going to slide into the 2nd fret. So remember, we're still staying with that box. So we're going to slide in with the middle finger, so just fret 1 to 2. Then we're going back to the 1st fret with the index, and then to the 4th fret of string 2. So we have all on the 1st string, 2, 1, and then the 4th fret of string 2 with the pinky. Now the rhythm is what's important here. We have, starting on the end of 1, we have 1 and. Okay, then we're holding that out for beat 2. So this next hit, this 1st fret, is on the end of 2. And this pinky is on beat 3. Okay, so we have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So very tricky with that one. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so we're holding this one out for a quarter. Beat 4 we're resting, and then beat 5 we're sliding up to the 5th fret. So we can use that ring finger if we want. We can slide up to, or slide 3 to 5 for this last part. So remember, that's going to be the end of 4. So I have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so let's give that a shot super slow. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now again, like we saw earlier, this 5 is going to be tied or held out into the next bar, so bar 6. So we're going to hold the 5 out, and then on the end of 1 we have our next note. Okay, so our next note and the next phrase sounds like that. Okay, so we're going to start off sliding again 3 to 5. That's going to hold out into beat 1. So on the end of 1, we're going to take the index finger, play the 3rd fret of string 1. Then we're going to take the middle finger, play the 4th fret of string 2. And then the index finger plays the 3rd fret of string 2 and slides down to the 1st fret. So this rhythm is actually easier because it's and 2 and 3. So straight 8th notes going throughout. So we have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? So let's see if we can give that one a shot. Slowly, remember, starting the end of 4. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Let's go a little bit slower. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so this is going to last a quarter note, and then for beat 4, we're going to rest. So let's see if we can try 5 and 6 together. So here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Rest. Okay, let's try it again. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Awesome. So now when we get into the next part for bars 7 and 8, it's again a variation of what we played in the very beginning. Here's what it sounds like. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Rest. Okay, so let's break that one down. So again, we have all eighth notes for this 7th bar. So we're starting with that first fret of string 2, open 3rd, then the 3rd fret of string 3, and then back to the 1st fret. So we have 1, 0, 3, 1, then to the pinky, 4th fret, and then the open A. So it's the same as before, right? 1, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0. All that's the same. But this time it's going to come up to finish. So you're playing the 1st fret of string 2 and then the open 3rd to finish it. Remember, eighth notes throughout. 1, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, 1, 0. So it's like coming up on an F chord, right? For the ending. 1, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, 1, 0. Okay, the next bar sounds like this. Really cool little transition. So we've got the 3rd fret of string 3, then we're going to slide up with the index finger. We're going to play the 2nd fret of string 2, followed with the ring finger on the 4th fret, and then the 5th fret, all on string 2. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, rest. So again, I have 3rd fret of string 3, slide up with the index, play the 2nd fret of string 2, 4th fret, 5th fret. So I have 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay, so you can hear how that 5 lasts for a beat and a half. So if we try 7 and 8 together, guys, let's give it a shot. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, rest. So not too hard on that one. All right, so now let's see if we can tackle 9 and 10 together. So this is what these two bars sound like. So again, really cool stuff. Da 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 da, la da 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 da. So we got some syncopation happening at the end too. We've got a stretch for this one, guys. We're gonna take that pinky, we're gonna put it on the 5th fret of string 1. We're gonna hit this for the quarter notes, beat 1, 1. Now the rest of the notes are eighth notes starting on beat 2. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Okay, so let's break that down. So again, starting with pinky on 5 on 1. Then on beat 2, we've got the 3rd fret of string 2 with the middle finger, followed by the 1st fret of string 1, and then back to the 5th fret, to the 1st fret, and then walking chromatically up, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. So you can see there's only one note that's on the 2nd string. So we have 5, 3, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3. So slower, I have a quarter. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So calling out frets again, I have 5, 3, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's give it a shot. 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. You can see I leave that index finger anchored at that 1st fret. So that just kind of helps keep me a bit more stabilized. Now, if some of these stretch chords or stretch playing is hard for you, then check out this lesson to get a few exercises. There's 3 exercises that help you gain more reach in your left hand. So our 10th bar sounds like this. Okay, so this one, we're starting on beat 2. So we got to rest for beat 1. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Okay, so that's really important that we pause for that rest, right? So again, we're going to slide in just as we did earlier where it's fret 1 to 2 on the 1st string with the middle finger. And then we're going to go and follow that up with the 1st fret of string 1 with the index, and then the 4th fret of string 2 with the pinky, and the 1st fret of string 2 with the index. So just a little walk down. Okay, so we have 2, 1, 4, 1. All right. So that is all eighth notes, but we're starting on beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay, we're going to hold this out into beat 4, and then again we're hitting on the end of 4, the first fret. So here we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So let's try that together, you and I. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Awesome. So let's try 9 and 10 together now. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay. Now this end of 4, this first fret, is going to hold out into the 11th bar. And this 11th bar is the same as what we played earlier for bar 7, where it's had that little walk up of the F chord right at the end. So again, a lot of the reason why this song is catchy is because it has a lot of repetition. Think of all your favorite songs. There's so many songs that just repeat and repeat. There's a, what is the name? Walking on the Moon by The Police is one that just repeats every verse, and you know what happens? It makes it catchy. So hey, trick for songwriting, right? So let's see if we can take it from the end of bar 10 into 11. I'm gonna count it out. I have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so it's all the same stuff we did before. Just remember that we're holding into the first hit. So we hit on the end of 4 and 1. Then our next hit is open third on the end of 1, then the 3rd fret of string 3, then the 1st fret, the 4th fret, the open A, then the 1st fret of string 2, and the open 3rd. So same stuff we saw for bar 7, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's try you and I. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so for bar 12, we have our first ending, and then we'll have an alternate ending for the second time. So we're going to repeat the 12 bars, but we'll have a different ending just for the last bar, the 12th bar. So here's ending number 1. Okay, so just eighth notes walking up. So we have the 3rd fret of string 3, then the 1st fret of string 2, then the 4th fret of string 2, and the 5th fret of string 2. Okay, so almost the same thing that we saw earlier, just slight little variation. So again, we have 3, 1, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay, let's give that a shot, guys. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so if we try the last 2 bars, 11 and 12, starting on the end of 4 for bar 10, we have 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, rest. Okay, now you're going to repeat all 12 bars, and the second time around you have an alternate ending. Sounds like this. So very simple, again, just a slight little variation. So let's learn that alternate ending, and then we're going to go through all 12 bars, and we're going to talk about the outro too, because the outro has, again, a different ending that's really cliche and cool. So we'll get there in a second. So here's the second ending for bar 12. We're going to start on the 2nd fret of string 3, then the 1st fret of string 2, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and then back to the 3rd fret. So you can see how I'm just using that ring finger, or you can stay with that box like we talked about. Up to you, but here's the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So you can see that we're holding out that 4th fret for end 3, so the end of 2 plus the whole beat 3. Then on beat 4 we're hitting the 3rd fret. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so 2, 1, 3, 4, 3. Let's give it a shot. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Awesome. All right, so let's see if we can tackle this entire melody all the way through. And if you're just getting familiar with it, then you can break it into sections, kind of like what we did with learning this. You can do a few bars at a time or 2 bars at a time, or you could try 6 bars at a time, breaking in half, and then the second half to help you get it down quicker. So here we go, all 12 bars, and we'll just do ending 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so that's what we get for all 12 bars. Remember, just you can approach it by ear, right? Because it's a lot to comprehend with counting out all these rhythms. It really is a song or a melody that is super catchy. So da 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 2, 3, 4 la da 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 ba da 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 la da 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 ba da 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 do 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 do. Repeat. Right? So that's the thing, guys. Like, it's really lends itself to being one that you can just hum. So let's talk about the outro of the tune real quick. Or actually, let's talk about the form first. So it's going to play the melody 2 times. Remember, this 12-bar form. So we're playing the melody for 24 bars. Remember, there's an alternate ending for bar 12. And then it goes into the ukulele solo, which is only 12 bars. After that, it goes into the U-Bass solo, which is 24 bars. Stephen wanted to play a longer solo for bass. So you're going to be playing that chord progression 2 times through, so 24 bars of that. After that, it goes back to the head, which is the melody. But this time around, you're only playing the melody once, so you have 12 bars for the melody. So you're going to play the same 11 bars, the first same 11 bars, and then the 12th bar is going to be a variation. So the 12th bar, we have I guess you can consider it the 3rd variation of the 12th bar. Sounds like this. Okay, so this one is 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So kind of like a little walk up and walk down. So let's learn that one real quick. So we have 2nd fret of string 3, then the index on the 1st fret, and the rest are on the 2nd string. So we have 1, 3, 4. So we have 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? And then we're going to literally walk backwards. 3rd fret, 1st fret. So that's 4 and. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay? Let's give that a shot together. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so after that we have this little cheesy cliche ending, which sounds like this. Da 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 bum. The rhythm is a little complex on this, so let's break it down. So we're going to be starting on beat 2. So we're going to be playing the 5th fret of string 3, and then the pinky on the 8th fret of string 1. So it's both an F note, but we have 1, 2, 3, and rest. So there's a rest for beat 1 and a rest for beat 4. So I have 1, 2. So this is going to hold for a quarter note. Then on beat 3, we're going to play the 8th fret, and the end of 3, we're playing again the 5th fret. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then again for beat 4, rest. So let's give it a shot. 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, and rest. Okay, now the next one is going to, or the next bar is going to hit on beat 1. It's going to hold for a dotted quarter, 1 and 2, end. So you're hitting on beat 1 plus the end of 2. 1 and 2, end. So you're hitting just that 8th fret of string 1. 1 and 2, end. Okay, and that second hit is going to last for all of beat 3. So again, we have another dotted quarter. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and then on beat 4, we're just going to the F7 chord. And we're going to hit that and hold it out to the next bar. So to form the F7 chord, we're going to take the middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of string 4, ring finger on the 3rd fret of string 3, and the index on the 1st fret of string 2, and the A string is open. We can just pluck it, all 4 fingers. So again, that last couple bars will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, let's give it a shot. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, if we try the last 2 bars, we have 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that gives you the little outro. All right, so let's go ahead and kick into learning the chord progression. And remember that this chord progression can be played throughout the whole song. So if you just want to play the rhythm, you can play along with the performance, and this will work over everything for all 12 bars. And again, if you want to play as a duet too, one person can learn the melody and the solo, the other could learn the rhythm, or you both could learn and vice versa, or switch it. So a lot of fun as a duet as well. So our rhythm, again, we want to keep in mind 12-bar blues with jazz influence, right? So the first chord that we're playing is actually the one we just covered, F7. And the rhythm that we're going to use is very simple. We're just going to use quarter notes, and we'll talk about how to jazz it up at the end. But let's just go ahead and do 4 plucks, and we can do staccato plucks, where we just kind of, see how I lift up? So I'm pushing down and then I lift up pressure. So it gives us staccato sound instead of a sustain where it's, right, versus staccato is ba, 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 ba. And you may be thinking, well, how do I mute the first string because I can't lift up and mute it? Well, you can touch it again with your fingers too. So if you want to make sure it's muted, you can just touch after you pluck. So watch the right hand. I pluck and then touch. So I can lift up and also come down and just touch the strings and it'll mute it too. So let's see if we can do 4 hits, 4 quarter note hits for this F7. That's bar 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's give it a shot, you and I. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now our next chord is going to be a B flat 7. So we're going to do a bar chord. So you're going to take that index finger, lay it flat on the 1st fret, strings 1, 2, 3, 4. So all 4 strings. Then take that middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of string 3. This is going to be our B flat 7. So we're going to do 4 hits of this. Same thing, staccato. So same, lift up and pluck, and you can use the right hand to help mute too. So let's give it a shot. 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So one thing you want to practice is going from F7 to B flat 7. So if you start on F7 and we go to B flat 7, look at the transition that happens. Ring finger lifts up, index comes flat, middle literally just drops straight down a string like that. And we've got B flat 7. So that's the easiest way to do that transition. And then it's vice versa when you switch back. So when you switch back, middle comes up, ring drops down, index goes on the 1st fret of string 2. So you may want to just practice those chord transitions by doing something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then once you get more comfortable with it, boost that tempo up a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it helps form muscle memory so that you can switch quicker with more accuracy. So again, too, make sure that you have proper form for your left hand for these bar chords. They're really tricky. So if you're new to bar chords, check out this lesson on proper left hand form. It's going to teach you everything you need to know about making sure that you're playing bar chords correctly. All right, so let's see if we can try the first 2 bars, F7 to B flat 7. And we'll see if we can go at a medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Bar 3 and 4 goes back to F7. So 2 bars of F7. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our first 4 bars. We're 1/3 of the way through the rhythm. So pretty simple so far. Let's try 1 through 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now bar 5 goes back to B flat 7. So we have 4 hits again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 6 switches it up. We're going to a B diminished 7. So a nice little substitution happening right here. So to do this chord, we're going to take our index finger, lay flat strings 1, 2, and 3, and then take your ring finger, put it on the 4th fret of string 2. Okay, so we're going to ignore string 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's give that a shot, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, you probably just want to practice going from B flat 7 to the B diminished. And you can see that transition is not too hard. Literally, the first finger scoots up and drops down a string, and ring comes down. So you can put it in the same context, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, to practice. So you can do that with all these chord transitions. So let's see if we can give this a shot. We'll go bar 5 to bar 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Bar 7, we're going back to F7. Bar 8, we're going to D7. So nice switch up here. So this D7 is probably the one that you all know. It's probably, I think it's the first bar chord most people learn. So it's first finger flat on all 4 strings on the 2nd fret, middle finger on the 3rd fret of string 1. Okay, 4 hits on that. So let's see if we can try 7 and 8. So F7 to D7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's see if we can go 5, 6, 7, and 8 together. So we have starting from the B flat 7. So we're going B flat 7, B diminished 7, F7, D7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're 2/3 of the way through. So bar 9, we go to G minor 7. Again, probably something you know. It's a partial bar chord. Lay the index finger flat on the 1st fret, strings 1 and 2. Then take your middle finger, put it on the 2nd fret of string 3, and the G string will be open. So we have 4 hits on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to a basic C7, just a 1-finger chord, 1st fret of string 1. 4 hits on that for bar 10. So this one, we really want to use the right hand to give that muted staccato sound. So let's see if we can try 9 and 10 together. We have G minor 7 to C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 11 and 12 is really cool. We got some real jazz sounding stuff going on right here. We're going back to F7 to D7, but this time we're putting these 2 chords into 1 bar. So this is bar 11. So the first 2 hits is F7, then to D7 for the second 2 hits. Okay, so let's give that a shot. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now bar 12, we're going G minor 7 to C7. So again, same thing as before, 2 chords, 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's give that a shot. So we have G minor 7, first 2 hits, 1, 2, C7, 3, 4. So again, let's give it a shot, you and I. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So now let's see if we can try 11 and 12 together. F7, D7, G minor 7, C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So real cool turnaround sound at the end. So now let's see if we can tackle 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're starting on G minor 7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now let's tackle all 12 bars. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So there's your straightforward rhythm. So you can play it all as quarter notes if you're just getting started. But if you want to jazz it up a little bit, less is more for this. So for example, you can throw in like an eighth note rhythm or a triplet, eighth note triplet rhythm. So if you're new to eighth note triplets, I'm going to put a link in the description box below to a lesson that covers what that means rhythmically. But let's assume you know what it is. If not, hit pause, check that out, come on back. So what I would do is I would put an eighth note on beat 4, so 4 end, and then you could also put a triplet on beat 4, so triplet. So for example, if you think of it, then you could have ba 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 da 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 da, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3, triplet, something like that. You know, you can just jazz it up a little bit, right? So if we put it onto the uke, then this is kind of what we get. So you can play it very simple and straightforward, which we did as we learned it as quarter notes, but you can just throw in some slight little variations like that to jazz it up. So just have fun with it, experiment a little bit. So guys, that's everything for this lesson. So if you want to learn the ukulele solo, we're going to be covering that in the part 2 lesson at rockclass101.com. So you can click this link right here to check out the part 2 lesson, or you can just go to the site and do a search for EP009. So also at that page will be the tabs that you can print off and follow along with, as well as access that on-screen tab viewer, is that interactive tab player. Really, really cool feature for learning this song that much easier. Plus the backing tracks are there. So you can download them and rock out at home. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in part 2. Thanks.